Are humans' innate differences set by God?
Does the Bible also talk about the law of cause and effect?
In the Bible, causality is often mentioned. In Lecture 1 of Way, Truth, Life, I've listed plenty of scriptures from the Old Testament about causality. Check it out if you're interested. In the New Testament, Jesus also talked about causality. For the Son of Man is going to come in his Father's glory with his angels, and then he will reward each person according to what he has done. Behold, I am coming soon. My reward is with me, and I will give to everyone according to what he has done. There is a judge for the one who rejects me and does not accept my words. That very word which I spoke will condemn him at the last day. The very word Christ spoke is the law of cause and effect. So what is causality? Bao Ying in Chinese. Bao means effect and Ying means the corresponding cause. So Bao Ying means the law of cause and effect. Therefore, the Bible does talk about the law of cause and effect. God created the world and endowed it with the law of causality. Without the law of causality, wouldn't the world be a mess? How can it show God's righteousness and justice? All scientific theories are based on the law of causality. The very word Christ spoke is the word mentioned in the opening verse of the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word. It refers to all the truths that the returning Christ is going to teach.
As a Christian, I believe in the law of causality now, but I don't believe in reincarnation. What should I do?
Where there is causality, there is reincarnation. We can discuss this from the perspectives of one's birth and death. When one is born, his innate four quotients, intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, spiritual quotient, moral quotient, as well as various interests, skills, temperament and character, are all different from his parents. Thus, they are not inherited. So, are these differences set by God? As ceramics workers know, ceramics are divided into first class, second class, third class, and fourth class. Those worse than the fourth class are considered substandard, and those worse than substandard are considered waste. Actually, like ceramics, there are also vast differences among humans. Could it be that God creates humans just like workers produce ceramics? God is merciful, just, righteous, and omnipotent. He won't set things up this way, nor can there be technical mistakes. Therefore, when one is born, his innate factory settings must have causes from his past lives. Secondly, after one dies, if he has committed evil deeds, he will go to hell. The duration of the punishment depends on the severity of the evil deeds he has done. It cannot be eternal. Being punished eternally does not conform to the law of causality, because finite negative causes cannot result in infinite negative consequences. Therefore, when the punishment is over, he can be reincarnated as a human and continue to repent and practice. After death, if one enters heaven for the good deeds he has done because of believing in God, he needs to continue to repent and practice in order to continuously eradicate his sinful nature. If he hasn't completely eradicated the thoughts of pride, envy, discontent, and self-exaltation, he might become a fallen angel, be reincarnated as a human, and follow Satan to harm the world. Because finite positive causes won't lead to infinite positive results. Only by constantly repenting and practicing and completely eradicating all sinful natures can one reach unity with God and never fall. Actually, after death, very few people meet the conditions to enter heaven, same as the ones that enter hell. Most people don't meet their conditions to heaven or hell. This is a common sense. However, while waiting in the underworld, their sins won't decrease and their virtues won't increase. There is no change. So, the only possibility for them is to be reincarnated as humans and continue to repent. The Bible is permeated with the concept of reincarnation. Without the concept of reincarnation, the Bible is not self-consistent. With the concept of reincarnation, it would be quite easy to understand.
Someone asked online, "It's known that Adam and Eve were created by God and not reincarnated. Their children were born of Eve and not created by God. So, who were reincarnated as their children? Since Adam and Eve didn't die, it was impossible for them to be reincarnated as their own children. Now, there are billions of people in the world. Who are they reincarnated from? Why does the world population keep increasing?"
God said to Moses, "I am who I am," indicating that God has always existed. He is not a created being. Actually, time and space are also created by God. God is beyond time and space, beyond all dimensions of life. As the transcendent God, He created the souls of all dimensional beings. From the perspective of dimensional beings, there is a past, present, and future, as well as time and space. Therefore, from the perspective of these dimensional beings, God is eternal, and all souls are also eternal. In the very beginning, all beings were in heaven and everything was good. They were all high-dimensional beings. At that time, there was no earth or anything on earth. Due to their lack of wisdom, they became greedy and indulged in pleasure. Thus, God created the earth and everything on it. These beings then fell to earth to undergo reincarnations and experienced a decrease in their dimensions. Originally, the souls of Adam and Eve were also in heaven. God created their physical bodies and set their DNA. Adam and Eve initially resided in the Garden of Eden. However, due to their lack of wisdom, they became greedy and indulged in pleasure. As a result, they were expelled by God from the Garden of Eden. In the middle of the garden were the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and its fruits. After eating the fruits, one's conceptual thoughts as well as afflictions such as greed, pride, envy, and anger will grow. This is just a metaphor. The children of Adam and Eve are also the reincarnations of fallen beings from heaven. The good and bad deeds of every living being are accurately stored in their own souls. When they die, their good and bad deeds will determine where they go. Whether they go to heaven or hell or become animals is the result of their own actions. Christ said, "I did not come to judge you, but to save you. The very word which I spoke will condemn you and repay you according to what you have done."